Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Coming up, Life with Lupus. We hear from one living with the disease. We're also dispelling some of the misconceptions you may have about blood transfusion. All this and more. Stay tuned.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, February 7, 2023. Government is looking to further amend the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, to deal more strongly with money laundering and other financial crimes. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang says the changes will seek to widen the application of unexplained wealth orders.
These orders will ensure that competent authorities will be able to apply to require an individual to explain and account for the origins of their assets. This, of course, has to overcome a small hurdle, maybe not so small in some areas, as a concept the law's advisor referred to as reverse burden proof was in fact removed from our Constitution. Well, not removed, it was just written out.
Dr. Chang was addressing the Financial Investigation Division's FID's recent conference. He says when the Charter of Rights was being written, the reverse burden of proof was not carried over, so the current legislation requires the offenses to be affirmed before the authorities can seek an explanation for the acquisition of the wealth in question. The proposed amendment to the Proceeds of Crime Act will seek to correct this. It's also seeking to broaden the businesses and professions that are covered under the non-financial institution designation. Some of these include real estate developers, car dealers, hardware dealers, and microcredit businesses.
Notwithstanding, I believe that the POCA as a tool is underutilized. And therefore, I would concur with the view that money laundering needs to be, as a matter of course, considered in investigation of a wider range of offenses such as fraud, larceny, extortion, counterfeit goods, and human trafficking.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries will be offering technical assistance to help Jamaican fish farmers increase and maintain the highest production levels. The assistance will take the form of public education and training for those involved in the business of fish rearing. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. gave the assurance during a tour of the McLeish Aquaculture Farm in Spring Village, St. Catherine recently. He says an example of this is the National Fisheries Authority's partnership with the McLeish Farm in conducting studies on fish feed that can boost productivity.
Here we are actually trying out the Biomar, which is the feed that that he is importing, and we're seeing how the production is impacted, whether there's more production in a less time, and the different variables that are impacting production. And he also has this pond here, which is using normal feed that he has used over time, which is from Hypro.
We have a pond that we are just feeding with pure biomass, and we have a pond that we are feeding with straight Hypro. And then we will see the result, and then from there we will know what feed we're going to continue on.
The Agriculture Ministry is also planning to establish a program that will help in the preparation of fish ponds. Students enrolled in technical and vocational education and training TVET courses at the secondary school level will soon be given certification for those programs. This will be done through the University Council of Jamaica, UCJ, the country's national accreditation agency. Minister of Education and Youth Fable Williams is therefore encouraging parents and guardians to enroll their children in TVET courses, which are at the same level with traditional academic programs.
When you look around now, what careers are in demand? The electrician, the plumbers, right? The people on the construction site. Those are the careers that are in demand right now. You can go to the PhD level in TVET areas, right? It's not just straight academics, and we want to get that into the minds of parents.
The Education Minister was speaking at the Maypen Baptist Church to mark the start of National Career Awareness Week. It is being observed under the theme, Conquer Your Future Through Career Development. Minister Williams is encouraging students and parents to make use of the resources that will be provided during the week of activities. The Ministry of Transport and Mining will be targeting young people as part of its road safety campaign. The aim is to build an awareness among that population and have them become road safety advocates. Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw says the expectation is that this will also lead to a reduction in road fatalities among the 15 to 29 age group. He was speaking at the recent inaugural meeting of the Jamaica Caribbean Youth Network for Road Safety.
Road traffic injuries place an enormous burden on the country's economic and healthcare systems, especially where young people constitute a major part of the population. With this meeting, it is vital to engage youth in road safety policy design and implementation.
President of the Jamaica Caribbean Youth Network for Road Safety, Daniel Thomas, says the network will run social media campaigns this year.
A year-long social campaign that will definitely promote road safety through different messages, through different initiatives, through different projects. And of course, we would want to incorporate persons who would have been survivors of road crashes, not just young people, but persons older than us beyond 29, to really have a series of them speaking on what their experience was and how is it that their experience can help someone else.
The Youth Network for Road Safety was established by Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services to engage approximately 5,000 young people in the Caribbean. And finally, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, HFJ, will be carrying out more screenings across the island as part of activities to observe Heart Month in February. These are being done under the theme, Do Your Part, Check Your Heart. Heart screenings are encouraged for the prevention, early detection, and treatment of cardiovascular disease, as well as pre-existing conditions that may lead to cardiovascular disease. Speaking at a recent JIS think tank, Executive Director of the HFJ, Deborah Chen, said screenings would be accommodated on February 11 at Hilo Food Stores in Crossroads and Barbican, as well as Sovereign Center, Ligonier, and the Portmore Pines Plaza.
On the 14th of February, we encourage you, this is Valentine's Day, everybody. In addition to buying your roses and your chocolates, we encourage you to come to Beechwood Avenue. We'll be having very special activities on that day.
The Heart Foundation will also offer special off-site screening services on February 25 at Tropical Plaza on Constant Spring Road. Screening services will also be available at several public health facilities on select days.
On the 9th of February at Lawrence Tavern, Stone Hill and Maxfield Park Health Center, on the 23rd at Waterford Health Center, the 24th at Christian Penn Health Center, and Guys Hill on the 28th of February.
The highlight for Heart Month is the annual Medical Symposium and the Dr. Knox Hagley Memorial Lecture. These will be held virtually on February 28 under the theme Stress, Heart Disease, and Health. Persons are encouraged to register through the Heart Foundation's website at heartfoundationja.org. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Up next, a roundup of all that happened this past week in the office of the Prime Minister. Take a look.
It's been a busy week in the office of the Prime Minister, and we have the highlights. I'm Vaughn Davis, and you're watching Jamaica House Weekly.
Jamaica would be willing to participate in a multinational security assistance deployment to Haiti under the appropriate jurisdictional parameters to support a return to a reasonable level of stability and peace.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness made that pledge in the House of Representatives last Tuesday in response to deteriorating conditions in Haiti. Mr. Holness affirmed that Jamaica remained committed to working with CARICOM and bilateral partners such as Canada and the United States to provide sustainable solutions. He said Jamaica was also taking interest in efforts by the Organization of American States, OAS.
We note with interest an initiative being contemplated within the OAS to strengthen the organization's response to the increasingly complex and challenging situation in Haiti. Jamaica will remain closely involved in efforts within this body to develop constructive approaches at the hemispheric level.
On Thursday, Prime Minister Holness expressed outrage at the murder of 9-year-old Nikita Noel. He released a statement calling the 9-year-old's murder a horrifying shock to our collective conscience and sense of community, which could only be described as evil. The Prime Minister offered condolences and support to Nikita's family as they seek to make sense of her vicious murder. Mr. Holness asserts that as a society, we must never become numb to the increasing barbarity of violent acts. He adds that we must clearly define and defend the moral line by speaking out against and unequivocally condemning these violent acts, as well as supporting measures that will bring the perpetrators to justice. For this reason, Mr. Holness says government is urgently amending the Offences Against the Person Act to provide stiffer penalties for those who terrorize and prey upon our people, particularly vulnerable and innocent children. Last week also found the Prime Minister addressing children's safety in another area. He promised that amendments would be made to the new Road Traffic Act and regulations in light of some taxi operators refusing to transport children under age 12. Their reluctance is in response to a new regulation requiring taxis to be outfitted with a car restraint system for transporting children under the age of 12. Motorists who fail to comply with the regulation can be fined $5,000. In a media briefing at Jamaica House on Friday, Mr. Holness said the law would be reviewed to take their concerns into consideration, as well as the safety of children.
We have decided, in support of the position adopted by the police and already explained, that they will apply greater discretion in the enforcement of the rule. We have decided that we will make some amendments to the law, and we will do so as quickly as possible. It may come in the form of amendments to the regulations, which can be done very quickly by a ministerial direction, which may not necessarily need to go to Parliament, or if it does, as soon as possible in Parliament.
Until the amendments are made, he says government will support the Jamaica Constabulary Force's decision to exercise greater discretion in allowing PPV drivers to transport children without the restraint system.
The police will exercise a certain level of discretion on this matter and will police it as it was under the old Act.
In the meantime, the Prime Minister is reiterating that the ultimate objective of the Road Safety Act and regulations, in particular the clause which refers to the child restraint systems, is to ensure the safety of children. Closing out the week, 19 young Jamaicans who have made outstanding contributions in various areas were presented with the Prime Minister's National Youth Awards for Excellence. The ceremony was held on the lawns of Jamaica House on Saturday. It saw awards being presented in the categories of academics, youth development, sports, journalism or e-journalism, nation building, music, national leadership, innovation, science and technology, arts and culture, agriculture and agro-processing, entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and environmental protection. Among the award recipients are Justin Paul Williams for Art and Culture, Zanita Alvaranga and Jaden Shaw for Sports, Alexander Shaw for Nation Building, and Alexander Rees Greenland for Environmental Protection. The Prime Minister's Special Award for Excellence was presented to World Under-20 Triple Jump champion Jaden Hibbert. Mr. Holness congratulated the recipients as well as those shortlisted and encouraged them to continue their excellent work in their various fields of endeavor.
These national awards are important in a world where negative news is so abundant, where the things that go viral are usually the negative things. Tonight, we want you to go viral because you have achieved great things, not just for yourself, but for your country. We want your recognition to serve as motivation, encouragement, and inspiration for others to pursue excellence in their chosen fields.
The ceremony was held under the theme Reignited. Approximately 300 awards have been conferred on the nation's youth since the inception of the program in 1998. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Your health is your wealth is a phrase said often because it's true. If you believe you may be suffering from the health condition known as lupus, or even if you are not familiar with it, you will be interested to hear the story of Dr. Jacqueline Goldburn, who takes us on her journey of life with lupus. Come along.
I was diagnosed with lupus in 2008, but from my own knowledge of what is happening, I must have had lupus all my life, as it were, because I've always been having symptoms. But the challenge that I had was that I was always misdiagnosed. And so that is the focus of my, the challenges in terms of, the doctors would think that I have something else and not lupus, but you'd have different symptoms. But I have systemic lupus, and lupus is not only systemic, but some persons just have what we call discord lupus or other little types, joint pains, and so on. But I have the full works. Well, I was extremely disappointed because I felt, oh my God, I have lived a good life. I have always been careful about what I eat. I've always been sure to exercise. I've used to be nice and slim and beautiful. And to hear that now I have this condition, I did not want to believe. And then it got worse after the diagnosis. You know, I had periods where I couldn't work at all. There was a 4-year period in my life that I never worked. I just couldn't work. I was just always sick. I was always in hospital. Sometimes I'm in intensive care, sometimes I am unconscious, sometimes I'm all kinds of things. So it has not been a very wonderful ride. In 2014, I became, my kidneys stopped working. So I was now in renal failure. And it means that I now have to go to dialysis. So there were days when I would just be so weak. My blood count, that's HB, would fall to a very low level. I had to get blood. I had to look at what I eat. I had to look at how much I do. I had no energy most times. I couldn't do anything. I just had to lie down in my bed. So just different things. You couldn't walk sometimes. Sometimes I can't talk clearly. Sometimes I can't see. Sometimes my hands are so sore and I can't use them. Sometimes just different things. My lungs would fail. Different things would happen. So I've been through the ropes. Mentally, it was devastating because I feel that that's not supposed to happen to me. So I went through that period. I actually went through a period of severe depression. I was just so depressed. I could not help myself. There were days I just cry and cry and cry. And part of that too is the medication that I take. Some of the steroids make you depressed. And then you look into the mirror and you look at yourself and say, who is this? I don't know you. Can I tell you, I have learned to love life and to live. And that is what is important to me. Each day counts. And I believe that I should live each day to the fullest. With lupus, there is this uncertainty. I don't know when I will be unconscious again. I don't know when I will die. But I am going to maintain the quality of life, and I'm going to have a good life, and I'm going to live. I have good family support. My husband is extremely supportive, my son. So I have them. And I have good friends. Good friends, the saying goes, good friends are better than pocket money. Then there's also the Lupus Foundation, which is important. There is a support group there. There are excellent rheumatologists there who will provide advice and help and care and just information. There's a whole host of books and tapes and all kinds of things that you can get information from. There is also the website that you can look at and get information as well. I would say to you, help is available. Find some help, find some support. Talking about it helps. Don't feel that it is you are, because you're special or you're being punished why you have lupus. But recognize that this is just another thing that could happen to anybody. Anybody, color, class, or creed, rich or poor, man or woman. There are more women with lupus than men, but men have lupus as well. And so be aware of the symptoms, get help, get treatment. Don't hide away. Don't think that people obey you, because Jamaica is famous for that. But know that this is a condition that can be controlled. It cannot be cured. It can be controlled, and you can maintain a healthy life. Seek to work, seek to be involved, do what you're doing, treat whatever is happening. If it's depression, get it treated, get treatment, get help. Help is available.
We're still talking health, this time blood transfusion. Unfortunately, there are some commonly held myths that stop many of us from participating in this life-changing exercise. Up next, Dr. Veronica Taylor dispelled some of those fears and misconceptions.
There are many fears and misconceptions about giving blood, some of which we'll be dispelling for you today. Joining me is Acting Director of the National Blood Transfusion Service, Dr. Veronica Taylor. Thanks for coming, Dr. Taylor.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, Dr. Taylor, one of the first fears that we want to discuss today is the fear of needles or being too nervous to donate.
Okay. First of all, donating blood allows that you can save 3 lives. So when you are coming to donate blood, you have to have that in mind. I know that there are myths or fears to donated blood because the size of the needle is like a mosquito bite. Don't be scared. That unit will be open in front of you, and it's an easy way to go. Our nurses are well capable to do this procedure. You cannot be scared because when you go into donated blood, that unit of or the bag of unit of blood will be open in front of you. So it's single use. You will feel comfortable. There is not a way, not at all, to catch any disease.
Some persons also believe that they cannot donate blood because they've had other diseases such as ZIP-V and CHIK-V. This is not the case. You can also donate if you've had these diseases, right?
Okay, I would like to clarify that. When you come into donated blood, you will have an interview. So in that interview, the nurse will be rigorous, asking you few questions that you will answer because it will be for the benefit of the recipient. So they will ask you few questions as if you have been in contact with person that have sick-B. If that is the case, you will defer for 15 days. If you have been contacted the sick-B, you will be deferred for 15 days. If you, after donating blood, started with symptoms, you will need to contact the blood transfusion service at any way that you have been donated the blood, because we will defer that blood will be discarded. So we will have a quarantine of the blood for a few days in awaiting for any symptoms that the donors could have in that period of time.
And Dr. Taylor, what about those persons who believe that they will not be able to partake in any physical activity or sport after donating blood?
One of our recommendations when we do the interview, if you go to the gym every day, the day that you donated the blood, will not do it, because remember that we have to remove 500 milliliters of the volume of your blood. My recommendation is increase your water intake. Taking more than 3 liters, you will be okay for the following day, be doing your gym or your sport activity.
That's great. And what about those persons who believe that they will not have enough blood after giving blood, so they avoid giving blood in its entirety?
What I will say, your bone marrow, removing 500 milliliter will hyperactive and will put in place in again, you need your red cell, your platelet, and your white blood cell. So nothing to worry about.
Persons sometimes say that they're just too busy to donate. What do you have to say regarding, how long the process is and, the other blood drives that you have to facilitate persons who may not be able to come here directly to donate blood?
Okay, that is a good question. We have the possibility to go to your workplace to allow you with a blood drive to help us to increase our number of units of blood in the blood bank. So we have different ways to allow to you to donate blood. 1, coming to the blood collection center. 2, a blood drive. 3, we use a mobile unit that go to the different places to allow person that interested to donate blood to go to that facility. The other way that you can, your day that you are resting is a person living in Kingston and St. Andrews can go on Saturday from 9 to 3 o'clock to the National Chest Hospital. There we have a blood collection center that is open every Saturday. So that is another possibility that the day that you are free to go and donate blood.
Perfect. And what about the issue of age? Is there an age limit for donating blood? Are you ever too old or are you too young to donate?
There is important to know that you can donate blood if you are between 17 and 60 years old. For the person that have been donated and regular donor, they can go up to 65. So that is important to be aware.
And a very popular myth is that you cannot donate blood because you've had a tattoo.
No, that I know that it is normal to have a tattoo, but we don't allow after 1 year to come and donate blood. Remember that you will use needle and you can be infected, so there is a window period that we don't want to violate, so we wait 1 year after you donated you have your tattoo in place and you can come and donate blood. Don't be scared.
And finally, vegetarians think that they cannot give blood because they simply do not have enough iron.
Okay, that is not true. Starting with a healthy lifestyle, we know that eating more vegetable and fruit, we are doing well. So vegetarian person don't have to be scared. We will take you through the process of what you will do when you donate blood, and we will check your hemoglobin level, doing a test, and that will let me know if you are able to donate or not. So vegetarian is not an excuse to come and donate blood.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yes, I want to say something that is very important. Please, it's not only National Blood Transfusion Service at 21 Slipen Road where you can come and donate blood. There are 10 blood collection centers island-wide, and I please encourage everybody to come and donate blood. We know that in the last 8 months, the increase of accidents in Jamaica have been affected. So the way that we can save that life is sometimes the need of blood. Also, I would like to encourage people to keep donating blood. Why? Because PAHO and WHO want in 2020 that our country be 100% voluntary donors. So without your support, we will not be in that target. Please come and donate blood.
Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Taylor. It was good having you. So having some of those major fears and misconceptions dispelled, I sure hope that you will face your fear today and donate blood. All the best.
And this is where we end for today, but if you would like a recap of today's show or any other program, please visit our website, gis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.